Okay. Yikes. Wonderhussey here, off-roading in a winter wonderland, looking for an old cabin. That's right, when I'm not looking for hot springs, well, you can generally find me traveling around the backcountry looking for these old abandoned miners' cabins that have been fixed up by volunteers, and in some cases, they're really nice. And this cabin that I'm trying to get to now is about a half a mile farther down this road. I'm sure when it's not covered in snow, it's probably very easily passable by a vehicle like mine, which is, four-wheel drive, high clearance, very capable. But, when I'm driving an unfamiliar road in snow like this, I don't like it because you can't see the obstacles. You don't know what's ahead of you. And, well, there were tire tracks on the road ahead of me. Somebody has obviously been here. I'm hoping they're not there right now. Anyway, those tire tracks ended, just at the top of that rise because there was kind of a flat area to turn around. And I noticed, looking at the tire tracks, that's what they did. They turned around. So I thought, well, whoever was here before me might know something that I don't know. And so I'm just going to take a cue from them. And so I went ahead and found a spot to pull over. I'm only a half a mile from this cabin. I've got 2 good legs. I can hike. It just seems a lot smarter than potentially getting stuck in my car in, I think it's only like 27 degrees. So I'm hiking to this cabin and I don't mind it at all. It's a beautiful winter's day. Sun is out. I'm sure it'll warm up to a nice balmy 35 degrees by noon. I need exercise anyway. Why not? And I'm following the footsteps of whoever came here. I'm thinking they probably came here yesterday. Today's a Monday, and usually people do this kind of stuff on the weekends. A. B. It didn't snow last night, so the fact that these prints are fresh looking doesn't mean anything. They could be 2 days old. So I guess these footprints are actually just a good sign that there's actually something worth seeing here. Somebody went through all the trouble to drive and hike out here yesterday when the weather was pretty nasty. Well, they certainly wouldn't have done that for a big, fat, nothing burger, would they? Okay, according to Google, I'm about 0.4 miles from this cabin. My guess is it's tucked up in this canyon here around this slope. Oh wow, I think I can see it just peeking up over the top of that really cool rock wall. Wow, look how cool these old rock walls are. Uh-oh, cabin looks pretty busted. Oh, maybe this is kind of a nothing burger. I don't know, it's still pretty cool to poke around the ruins of this old cabin. It looks like there might have been some sort of camp here because there's a lot of these stone walls, foundations, I don't know, ruins. Well, let's go up here and check out what was clearly a cabin. This was probably relatively cozy back in its day. The roof's collapsed now, and it doesn't look like it would be very much fun to spend the night in there. But wow, it's interesting. You can see, if you look at the back wall there, under those beautiful icicles, there's like mud packed in between the rocks. So, it was fairly well insulated. Well, at least by old time standards. By modern standards, let's just say I don't think I would click on this Airbnb listing. But yeah, somebody went through all the time and trouble to, first of all, stack these rocks, pack them with mud. It looks like there was a window over here, and what a view out the window. Let's take a minute to look. Let's put ourselves in perspective here. Where are we? Well, as is my custom typically, I'm not going to say exactly where we are, but well, anybody with half a brain can tell we're kind of in the area of the Eastern Sierra. Okay, you can see them peeking up there on the horizon. There's a big valley before us. Look at this gorgeous valley. There's a working farm down there, although, it's wintertime now. All them alfalfa fields are iced over. But folks are obviously still living out here in this beautiful valley where this old-time prospector, I guess, lived in this little cabin. How about that? And aside from the cabin, well, it's hard to really see because everything's covered in snow, but maybe that was a big corral down there for animals of some sort. you can see that rock wall goes way around to the back, and oh, then there's a bunch of brush stacked up over there to make like another wall. So I don't know if they were keeping animals in there or if this was just a hard Scrabble mining camp or prospectors camp. I mean, I don't know if those guys typically kept a lot of livestock. I wasn't able to find any information about this place online. I think somebody tipped me off to this location. And it has a really funny name. If you're immature like me, which I'll admit it, I have a retarded sense of humor. Oh, wait, I guess I shouldn't say that. That could be considered offensive. I have an immature sense of humor, let's just say. Anyway, the name of this cabin, which I guess that was it. Okay, let's see what other ruins we can find. I mean, like I was saying, I did Google the name of the cabin after the person told me about it, and I couldn't find any history or information, so I have no idea what was going on here. I think there was well, obviously there was mining all over in this area, so there was a mine somewhere around here, and I'm guessing this all had something to do with it. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep following the person who came before me's footprints, and maybe it'll lead us to something really cool, but, you know, along the way, lots more stone walls. None of these really look like they were buildings, though. They look more like, you know, pens for livestock, honestly. Look how cool that tree looks with the snow on it. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Wow, I bet that tree provided some much needed shade in the summertime. And that brings me to another point. Usually when I'm exploring these old cabins, it's summertime or, you know, more temperate weather and everything's nice and cozy and you can see how cool it would be to live in one of them. You know, I've even considered moving into one or two of them myself. But coming out here in the winter, you can get a feel for how tough this existence was. I mean, first of all, this guy had to keep himself warm in the winter by cutting firewood. And you can see we're not exactly in an area that's what you would call thickly forested. Or at least not anymore. Maybe it was before these people moved here and cut everything down to burn to stay warm in the winter. But I'm guessing they just had to go up here and them there hills to cut their firewood. I mean, you can see there are some trees left. So, you know, you go up top, there's a decent amount. So maybe they just dragged all their wood down from up there. And oh my God, that's a lot of work in itself. I mean, in addition to raising your animals and putting away supplies for the winter and doing repair work on the mud between the rocks in the cabin. I mean, your life, well, you never had an idle moment. Let's just put it that way. It was tough. Okay, well, these footsteps keep going on, even though I don't see any more stone ruins up here. But look, it kind of curves over here to the left. Let's see if this guy I'm following knew something that I don't know. I sure hope he did. It does look like there's some more stone walls up ahead, and then there's like a dumpster or something, it looks like, up there. What could that be? Hiking in the snow. I gotta go back to Death Valley after this. Can you imagine? I'm going from this to, I'm gonna guess it's probably in the 60s down where I live today. What I thought was a dumpster is just a trough. A zonk. And whoever came before me, their footprints end right here as well. So I guess, well, they were probably thinking exactly what I was thinking. And I'll be honest, part of me was kind of hoping that like this green thing was a cabin. Like sometimes you go to these old cabin sites and there's a real busted old ruin. But if you go around the corner, then that's where the really nice cabin is. Well, I was hoping this was one of those deals. But it's not. It's just an old, well, the ruins of an old mining town in an absolutely beautiful snow-covered high desert. Look at this cholla. Okay, we have a bunch of those down where I live. In fact, we have one in our living room right now that's decorated like a Christmas tree. But look how cool that is. There's snow and icicles hanging off it. How about that? Oh my gosh, sorry, fella, I want to take your icicle. I mean, those of you who live places where it snows all the time probably think, what's the big deal about an icicle? I don't see these very often where I come from. This is so cool. Sierra snowmelt. Better than any candy. But anyway, yeah, it's a beautiful landscape. Everything's covered in snow. Look, there's some sagebrush covered in snow. All these other little plants, I don't even know what they are. And then, of course, the trees. There's plenty of trees right here, actually. I wonder why he didn't build his cabin up here where all the trees are. I mean, I'm guessing the mine he was working, and I say he because it was almost certainly a man, is up that canyon somewhere. So, I don't know. Wouldn't this be as good a homestead site as any? What do I know? Hard to say, especially when it's all covered in snow. Part of me wants to come back here in the summer and see what it looks like without all the snow hiding everything. And then I might be able to, you know, suss things out better. But then another part of me thinks, well, golly, there's nothing here. Why would I subject my poor vehicle and, most importantly, its undercarriage to the abuse of this road again? Just to maybe, if I'm lucky, find a few rusty old cans. Gosh, look how beautiful these trees are, though, covered in snow. I mean, this is a beautiful day. Icicles on every bough. I'm shooting this video on December, I think it's the 12th, so it's just before Christmas. And this is definitely putting me in the Christmas spirit. Oh, look, some little bird was walking across the snow here. How cute is that? I love how you can see all the little footprints of all the little animals with this mysterious white stuff. Again, it's just such a novelty to me. I mean, I did grow up in Germany when I was little. So yeah, of course I'm familiar with snow. It snows a lot there. But ever since I was 12, I lived in California or Nevada, and southern Nevada at that. So nowhere where I really got to deal with or had to deal with snow on a regular basis. So to me, it's just a fun novelty. And to that end, I love the sound my boots make crunching into it. Listen to this. Well, something for my ASMR fans. Okay, well, I guess there's really no point in hanging out here much longer. I do have some other sites pinned on my map as I make my way back towards Death Valley that I can stop at and shoot videos. Assuming they're not blanketed in snow too. I mean, this was a doozy of a storm. It dumped snow all over the West Coast 2 days ago. And I think it's headed inland now. I heard on the news this morning it's headed for the Midwest. So if you're in the Midwest, by the time you're watching this video, well, you're probably already up to your you-know-whats in ice and snow, and you're scraping off your windshield, and they're sprinkling salt on the roadways, and your vehicle's getting all rusty and crusty, and oh gosh, I sure am glad I don't live someplace where it snows all the time. But it sure is fun to come out here and see it every once in a while. Okay, well, that's really all there is to this mystery snow-covered abandoned mine prospector's camp. Still not really sure. Before I head back down to my nice toasty car, I thought I might as well make a snowman. Yeah, since I don't come out here to these snowy parts of the country very often, it's kind of fun. So I made a little snowman. You might even say he's a little snow miner. Let this little snowman represent the guy who built this cabin. Matter of fact, I set the snowman right up on the corner of the cabin so that anybody else who hikes out here in the next couple hours before he melts will know that somebody was here, and it was somebody who cared.